What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Black Ronin back on that again with another banger for y'all's out here today there, y'all. And guys, been a little minute since I had her on the channel, but I got my awesome girl up in here, Black Widow. Say hey, Black Widow. Black Widow says, hey y'all, but guys, look at her coming over there to the camera. She says, hey there, y'all. But guys, look at that fresh shade. Look at them colors out there popping. And still the most friendliest little thing ever. She's doing pretty good too for the winter. The scariest time to have a reptile, or any reptiles in general, is during the winter. Make sure that heating don't go out ever. Make sure them lights don't go out. But other than that, she's doing pretty good. But guys, welcome on back to the channel. Guys, this might be probably one of my most important videos probably I ever made. But guys, I gotta talk about what every society needs to understand about men. Because I'm looking around here and I'm just like, you know, America would be so much better if there were just a better understanding of how men properly work and also how women properly work, but especially how men work. Because if men aren't happy and if they feel like they don't even care or like society, they feel society is against them, they feel their own government is against them, that's a major problem. And let's talk about how to fix that. Now, is there any coming back for America? I'm not so sure, if I'm just being honest with you. But could times change going forward in the future? Anything is possible. 1000%. But let's go into it, guys. So the first thing society needs to understand about men is that, number one, every single man is on a different mission in his life. You know, not every man is set to work a job for the rest of his life. Not every man is meant to just be an average Joe. Not every man is meant to go to war and fight for his country. Not every man is meant to teach and uplift people. Not every man is meant to be great and go shine, go be this superstar athlete or actor. You know, it takes a certain discipline. There's a certain type of discipline to do certain things as a man. And that's one thing society needs to understand. So every man's mission is very, very different, but we're all on a mission to some degree. Even if you look at a man and think that he's lazy, best believe he's still on a mission to a certain degree. Now let's look at video games. Perfect example. See, every man has that conquering spirit to go win something in life. But the issue with video games, although I enjoy them myself, even though I haven't played in years, but you know, now when it comes down to Far Cry, that's usually when I come back around for gaming. That's one of the greatest video games in my personal opinion. You ain't topping Far Cry, my personal opinion. But you know, the reason why men jump to video games for hours and hours, and it's the first thing on their mind, and they get a lot of their dopamine rushes from video games primarily. One of the main factors, and that's because, for one, they're achieving and they're winning. You know, men love to win. You know, they want to conquer something, and video games is like the easiest way to do it. Why, guys, why y'all think GTA, you know, Rockstar Games, you know, with Grand Theft Auto, why you think Call of Duty, those games make millions if not billions, you know, every single year? And that's because a lot of men want that sense of winning in their lives. But the problem with video games, even though it's nothing wrong with them, but it's just the issue, we live in a society here in America that, one, really shames and hate men. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know, especially if you stand on your morals and you know what you want in life. You know, it's really ironic. It's like the things that America actually values, when you look at it on paper, you would think, you know, they would be like really uplifted here. But when a man actually stands on those values, it's an issue in our own country as a man. So, you know, yeah, like y'all see where I'm going with this. And going back to video games, you know, like men, they need that sense of like conquering and winning. And when they feel like an outsider and the whole society is against them in their own country, they will go crazy with video games, because they're like, man, life outside is just ridiculous. Rent is crazy. Everything is just insane against me. But when I hop on gaming, I got my boys with me. Hey, we doing this, you know, we gonna conquer, we gonna win. But men, you have to be very, very careful with that, because you have to apply that type of mindset to real life. And look at it. If you're in a society or city that you don't feel the most respected in, number one, look at yourself in the mirror and be like, damn, I gotta drop some weight. Or man, maybe I should brush my teeth. Or hey, maybe I should start washing, just taking care of myself, hitting the shower every single day, because hygiene is a big issue nowadays, unfortunately. But, things like that, yeah, has really, really got to be stressed and put on the men. And also, men, you got to have discipline. A lot of men in general here in America don't have a lot of discipline. And that's something that's extremely, extremely important for a solid society. And then on top of that, when it comes down to a man being very disciplined, it can work in many ways. It can work, like, guys, I ain't gonna lie, like when you're disciplined as a man, you just operate so much better, even though you don't want to do certain things, because guys, guys, I didn't feel like working out yesterday, but I did it and I feel great. I'm able to make my YouTube videos more confidently. There's so much benefits just from being a disciplined person. And especially as a man, like you will just, like, guys, just go crazy against your competition. Like you will wipe the floor with them if you got some sort of ambition and also discipline to you. And if you don't have that as a man, that really messes you up going forward in the future. You're just going to be in a continuous cycle of, of all these dopamine pleasures, which is great. But, there needs to be a balance of that. And that's one of the things that strongly needs to be talked about, especially in schools. Now, school system needs to change within itself because, like I said earlier, American society has failed in terms of understanding how men properly work and view things. And another thing too, guys, it takes time for a man to grow and develop. We're constantly evolving. That man might be the same for 10 years, but give him another 10 years, he might be in a totally different place. He might be the poorest broke dude that for like 15, 20 years of his entire existence, but then the rest of his life, he's a millionaire. And he's conquering, so the growth of a man really does take time, and that's something a lot of societies really need to know. And also, what makes a man very disciplined, it's really the hardships and how bad that he wants it. You see, like a man will definitely move extremely well. Well, I'm not gonna say extremely well, but can make drastic changes when he goes through something major traumatic, like let's say parents divorce, let's say a breakup. That alone will make a lot of men, ooh, be careful, Black Widow. She almost cut herself on my nails. But a breakup will make a man, it's either gonna make a man or it's gonna break a man. One of the two things. It's gonna be like, dang, what did I do wrong? You're gonna live in this like constant just sadness, or you're gonna be like, well, let me look at myself in the mirror, not making much money, not the most attractive person, I'm not this, I'm not that. Well, let me go ahead and fix all those things. And hey, if a woman can't respect me for me and who I am, that's her problem. And also another thing society needs to really understand when it comes down to men is that we value different things at a lot of the times, like when it comes down to values and just things that we stand for, like guys, I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Not every man belongs in your society. It just don't. And we're seeing that playing out in real time with the whole passport bro movement. And heck, guys, in the future, I plan on moving to Africa once I'm fully established one of these days. Now, let me make something clear. I'm not one of these passport bros or one of these guys that just don't get women. No. Don't get it messed up. Because that's the notion that goes around with a man wanting to leave, and everything, leave his country. No, it's a lot more reasons for men leaving, and it's just simply, it's too much low vibration energy here in America. And one thing about us, man, we love our peace. So let us enjoy our peace, but also at the same time, yeah, we know that we got to work and do all this stuff. But if we don't feel that sense of respect and we doing all this work, that don't fly with every man. It don't. Eventually, it's going to start creeping in. Some men will try to fill it with voids, whether it be alcohol, whether it be any type of, drugs, or, It's a lot of things men will go ahead and do to fill that void instead of putting in the work and just changing that situation, changing that environment. And then when it comes down to women, now most men in general, they like all of us men, we want a solid woman by our side and potentially even a family. Or you got the second type of man. He just want to go crazy with everything. And when also, you know what? I'm gonna throw in a third man too in the mix, because this type of man wants a family, but because he came from a broken family, he's trying to figure out how the heck do I maneuver and become a solid dude that, you know, a woman would actually want and be with long term. Now, as for me, when it comes down to my preference, understand every man got their own type of preference in terms of women, but in general, most men, we want a decent looking woman by our side. In terms of age, some men are more, you know, like they want a woman that's only in their 20s, you know, young. Some men are different, you know, like me. I actually prefer older women. I like women in their 30s. I think 35 is like the sweet spot for a lot of women, in my personal opinion, here in America. And especially as a young man, you cannot tell me that when you look around here in our society and you see what's out here walking around, finding a woman that really moves like you, that's on your type of level, on your type of vibration, especially that you know what you want and you're not going to let a woman walk all over you, that's tough as hell to find here in the U.S. A lot of places that you go, especially the major cities. And on top of that, guys, like finding women too that like you just really resonate with is very, very tough in like my generation, Generation Z. This is a very antisocial generation, unfortunately, because yes, we're like, I mean, we kind of had some normal experiences growing up, but we really got taken over by the digital age. And we're not really taught properly how to properly utilize the digital technology, properly and efficiently. So that way we can still communicate and socialize normally and still be proactive out here. Now, as for me and my preferences when it come down to women, I personally prefer my older women, guys. Like I was saying earlier, 35 is like the sweet spot. And just to show y'all I ain't bullshitting, because I do be pulling. Like I had this one girl over here. She looked like a Mexican Scarlett Johansson. In fact, she need to come back and get her coat. Let me show y'all her coat right here. I ain't gonna lie. Black Widow, you agree? Come here, Black Widow. You agree she got some good taste. She got some good taste right here, guys. This here is a coat she had left. And, you know, and she always smelling good, too. You know, good hygiene. I don't mess with no girl that has horrible hygiene. I can't do that. I don't see how y'all boys be doing that. But, and she a size medium. You know, she got to be in decent shape. That's just how I roll. But, and by the way, if she ain't back for this coat in like another 2 weeks, this might be going to the pawn shop. Looks pretty high class, too. I don't know. I got to ask her. Oh, no. Dang it. I was thinking she stay on the west side. Never mind. She out here in Central. But, you know, I got to have a girl that takes care of herself. And on top of that, guys with older women, they just be spoiling. Like, man, they'll spoil you. And they can cook so good, too, man. Absolutely unmatched. But, again, I'm not out here trying to knock women in my own generation. But it's just the connection and just the chemistry is so much better with older women, in my personal opinion. I just relate to them better. Now, that's not to say I don't find women in my generation, but it's just, it's more of a headache, guys. I ain't gonna lie. You know, it's almost like, it's like, guys, with older women, like when you're self-improving and you're doing all this stuff, you get a lot more appreciation for it compared to a woman that's in my generation over here in Gen Z today. Now, like I said, that's not every woman, but that's just my experience. And at the end of the day, I just like my peace. And as for kids and stuff, that probably is the only downside when it come down to older women. But at the end of the day, you know, you can still have kids with an older woman. You know, I don't believe in that whole once a woman hit this age, her value is down. Nah, man. Like, nah, I don't believe none of that. Because for one, like I said earlier, older women just be spoiling me. Like, that's just me, you know, but every man looks at women pretty differently. But like I say, like a lot of you guys might look at me and be like, this man's crazy as hell. And not to mention, he opened his video with a damn snake in his hand. So some of y'all already, question me right off the rip. But, and that's another thing too. We all got different passions, us men, like, and things that we like and what makes us happy. Me, guys, I love reptiles. Reptiles are like the best pets to have in the entire planet. I don't care what anybody says. They're peaceful, they're quiet, they don't bark. I can take them anywhere. They don't get too big. Well, some of them, but I love them. Like, this is my type of stuff that I just love. But just understand that about us men in society. And then in terms of the workforce, guys, society needs to really prepare for a man to evolve. Like I was saying earlier, us men are all on different paths in life. A lot of men, unfortunately, don't know what they want, but best believe there is going to come a time in their life, whether they're being married with children or just years down the line, or some men like me just catch on to it early, who knows what they want, and they go after it. There is going to come a time where a man reaches that point and he goes ahead and execute on it. Now, whether it be too late in his life, that's him. But hey, that's just how we move. And also understand, some men, they chase money, some of them chase this, but at the end of the day, us men live very, very simple, and society really needs to understand that, because hey, like, we can live very, very comfortably with minimum stuff. Like, as long as we got a roof over our head, we got food to eat. For me, I'm able to hit the gym, I'm able to work out and do that. I'm a happy person. It don't take much to keep me happy and to deliver these great YouTube videos for you guys, and also pursue my acting career, pursue filmmaking, doing all these different things that really inspire me, and also God too, not giving up on that. That's another thing that keeps me a well-rounded and just positive person going forward. But every man is different out there, and that's really what the point I want to make out here. But guys, let me know what you guys think about my views on how society needs to really understand about men, the importance of it. Because if not, we're seeing this all the time, guys. It's really, really messing up our society. And also, a strong family unit that's the one thing I forgot to touch on. Then I'm gonna wrap this shit up. But if you don't have a strong family unit, guys, it's a recipe for disaster for a lot of men, and also not respecting others, certain manners, those things need to really, really be pushed and installed into a man for him to be great out here, and to understand how he needs to properly handle hardship. And just know, don't feel, bad for failing. Like, a man is gonna fail, but can you keep on pushing? It's something you need to, really look at and understand how that works. But it's your boy, Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. Black Widow says bye. Say bye, Black Widow. Black Widow says bye, y'all. Y'all take it easy.